to respond to the debate.
Chairman, I support motions 1 and 3 and 4 and commend the work of the local authorities that have taken their own initiative in the matter of Wi-Fi, and within the confines of European competition policy, which can be obstructive in this area, I am happy to support those motions. The motion on fuel poverty, I think, would be more appropriate, Chairman, to tomorrow morning's discussion on energy. So allow me please to say a few words on the question of media mergers and on the two motions to do with hydraulic fracturing or fracking. Firstly, Chairman, on the question of media mergers, I agree with my colleague Dennis Mackin, and I believe that an active, robust and diverse media sector, both in terms of ownership and in terms of content, is a key prerequisite for any modern democratic society. I think we all acknowledge that the management of media mergers is critical. Our challenge is to adjust our policies and our laws to changing market, technological and social trends, and to do so in a flexible and appropriate manner, one that reflects the central tenets of preserving both freedom of expression and media plurality. We intend to bring forward legislation on this by September. Conventional competition analysis, as administered by the Competition Authority, will, of course, continue to be important, but media is more important than the conventional enterprise to which competition law might be applied. The media is different. The proper functioning of our democratic system depends ultimately on freedom of expression. Any excessive concentration of media ownership or control involves risks that go beyond those involved in the case of ordinary goods or services. We can clearly see this when we look at the impact of print media empires in the neighbouring island. And that's why we need a specific set of tests around concentration of ownership and its potential effects on media plurality. And I mean plurality, both in terms of diversity of content and diversity of ownership. And that is why we will legislate for new media-specific and principles-based criteria to be applied to mergers. These criteria will include, for example, the likely effect of the media merger on plurality and the undesirability of allowing any one individual or undertaking to hold significant interests within a sector or across sections of media businesses. And let me say, in respect of the controversial subject of fracking, that I accept it is controversial. The situation actually obtaining is that initial exploratory licences were granted in February of last year by the previous government. There is no actual fracking going on anywhere in the country. Last October I commissioned the EPA to do a study on this issue. The situation is, as John Feely has fairly said, that we simply don't know enough about the process known as fracking. I don't know if John is right that there is a lot of gas there. I don't know that for certain yet. But I do know, as he has said, that we don't have the expertise, and in fact it has taken almost 3 years now to produce a report in the United States on this subject. We have now assembled the finance to commission a far deeper report by the EPA. And I would like to assure delegates that in the event of there being a commercial discovery, the following steps would have to be taken, and I would ask you to reflect on them. Firstly, there would have to be a planning consent from on board Planola. There would have to be an integrated pollution prevention control licence from the EPA. There would have to be a Gas Act consent and a safety case approval from the Commission for Energy Regulation. And there would have to be a petroleum lease, a plan of development consent and a gas pipeline consent for myself as Minister for Energy. So there are a number of hurdles to be jumped. And what I want to say to the two motions seeking a moratorium is that in effect I can give you that commitment, because we will have another couple of Labour Party conferences before we have assembled the necessary expert evidence on this. And I would say to Ali Carr that it's not an Irish solution to an Irish problem, and it's not procrastination. It is, as John Feely fairly said, a circumstance where we don't, in the European Union, have the necessary expert advice yet available to us on this issue. There can be no question of us permitting such drilling or exploration in circumstances where we can't be assured that it is technologically and environmentally safe. So I can say to this conference that if you are prepared to refer back those motions, those two motions, that we will have an opportunity in the 12 and 18 months ahead to consider where we should go on this controversial issue when the professional and expert evidence is available. I would recommend that you would agree to refer these two motions back to the Executive. Thank you.